Rafa, who did a bit of a media tour today. If you can do that on Zoom, he covered a whole bunch of topics. He said, among other things, that he won't be playing any exhibitions until the official tour resumes. He also said that he would not travel to New York if the U.S. Open was held today. Take a listen.
If you ask me today if I will be comfortable traveling to New York with the situation of the virus, I will say no. In a couple of months, hopefully yes. I cannot predict what's going on the future. I think everybody wants to come back. Everybody wants to play tennis again and enjoy. But we are in an unprecedented situation.
Curious for your thoughts, guys, on that. Paul, start us off.
Yeah, I tell you, it's interesting because, as Rafa said, things are changing so quickly. And, look, we know there's a lot of meetings going on and a lot of hypotheticals with the USTA. We talked about Cincinnati potentially being played in New York before the U.S. Open. But he brought up a good point about him not being comfortable getting on the plane. How many of the players are going to be comfortable and which ones? And probably, if I were to make a wager, it'll be the folks that are more economically stressed as well, be more likely to come if they're not sure.
Yeah, I think, that has been one of the concerns for the USTA in holding the U.S. Open is how many players would not be comfortable. They've talked about all of the adjustments that they would be looking at making. Everything is still a moving target. And of course, a lot can change in 2 months, but that has to be at the top of the list. How many players would be willing, depending on the situation, would be willing to travel to the U.S. Open, to New York to play the U.S. Open, and with all of the restrictions that would probably have to be in place. So I'm sure Nadal is not alone, and he's got a few Grand Slams to pad the heartbreak if he weren't able to play the U.S. Open, but certainly that's going to be a big concern.
I think you both make great points on that. And Paul, as Rafa was sitting there feet up in Mallorca with $500 million in the bank, I think you're right. People who are playing prize money check to prize money check have a different decision to make.